So in today's video, I don't know if you can actually hear, but it's absolutely peeling it down. Like I said in the last video, it's done nothing but rain for about 2 weeks now. So today, I won't be keeping it koi, I'll be keeping it bonsai. I'm going to have a look at 2 of the new trees that I picked up from IKEA last week, see if we can make them look a bit more like a bonsai tree. I'm not going to be repotting them today because it is the wrong time of year, but I'm just going to start preparations ready for next year basically and show you that. I have also picked up some new trees. It is peeing it down, but I'll take you very quickly in the garden and show you my new trees I picked up the other day, and we'll then start hacking away at these bonsai. So without further ado, I'm going to spin you around and show you what I've got. Yeah, so these are the ones I've literally just picked up. Went down to our local woods, and our local woods is full of absolutely hundreds and hundreds of giant pine trees. Now I have no idea what species they are, but there was hundreds of these little tiny trees growing all over the place. So I thought I'd bring a couple home. I say a couple, I've got 7. So I've got some little tiny ones, and then at the back I've got some slightly bigger ones. So yeah, they've been all potted up. They won't get worked this year. I have snipped a few of the longer ends off just so they don't blow over and whatnot in the wind, but they won't actually get worked this year because obviously I need the roots and the tree to all stay as healthy as possible. So there'll be a job probably for next summer. But yeah, the 2 trees I'm going to be working on today, I have decided to keep this pine, this taller one here, as a little Christmas tree, just as we're only a month and a half away from Christmas. So I'm going to keep that as a little Christmas tree. Nala's barking at me. The windows are all foggy because it's all foggy today. But the 2 I'm going to be working on is this one, which is a Chamasi Paris, or Lawsonia, I don't know. One of them's an IKEA name, one of them's a tree name, I'm sure. But some form of conifer type tree. Again, if anybody knows the species of that tree, please feel free to leave it in the comments down below. And also this one. Now, in the last video I said I believe this to be another form of pine, but I think I've changed my mind. I think it's some form of juniper. But either or, that's the name on the pot. Again, if anybody knows what that is, please feel free to let me know. But the good thing with these IKEA trees, that they do tell you whether they need full sun, shade, what their minimum or maximum temperatures are, which is kind of ideal. But as I say, I'm not going to be doing any root work today. All I'm going to be doing is starting to shape them. So again, I'll pause you here, I'll get set up, and we'll get a crack-a-lacking. Right guys, so we're going to start with this one, the conifer type looking tree, and all ready to go. I've got my all my bonsai tools out, and yeah, these little kits, they're not very expensive. They're about 25 to 30 quid, and they come with literally everything a beginner would need. To start, you've got your little scoop, your little gardening tools, tweezers, a couple of different types of scissors, little snips, your shears for larger trees, cloth for cleaning up afterwards, a couple of bits of bonsai wire, gloves, and some label holders if you want to label up your trees. So yeah, nice little kits these. So I'm going to get what I need out, and we'll make a start. Right, and the first thing I'm going to do with this tree is I want to see some trunk to start off with. Now there's lots of different ways that people look after their bonsais, but me, first off, I like to see a little bit of trunk. So get rid of all the uber low down branches. That one's actually got some roots on it. Might try and pot that. So might regrow, who knows. All I'm using to start off with is just my little shears, my little pointy ones, just so I can get in and see what I'm doing. There we go. So now we can see a trunk. So that's where I'll start with that, and then I'm going to have a quick look through, check where the branches are, see what branches I want to keep, and then maybe do a bit of wiring. The trunk is actually really short on this at the moment. We've got a couple fighting for leader right now. The trunk literally stops here, look. I would guess that's the main leader. Is the tallest one and probably the thickest, but yeah, literally, I don't know if you guys can quite see that there. Let me bring you in. But obviously you can see the main trunk there going up, and then after this branch it kind of stops, and then all we've got is that leader. So it is only a tiny tree, so there won't be an awful lot I can do to this one. But yeah, I will pause you again here for a second and have a quick look and decide what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, so what I've decided to do is put a bit of wire on it first, give it a little bit of shape, and then I'll be able to see a bit more of an idea of what I actually want to do with it. So I've picked a 3mm wire. I don't think it's going to need any more than that because it's quite a small and thin tree. So all I'm going to basically do with that is find a gap to stick it down in. That's it. And then I'll whip my gloves off just for a second. As you can probably tell, it's extremely cold out here today. And then pinch it at the bottom. And the hardest part now is trying to get the wire round without damaging too many, if any, of the branches. So what you want to try and do is weave the wire in and out of the branches. Hopefully you can see that there. So you find the gaps and put the wire in between the gaps. So I'm going to continue with this, and once it's all wired up I'll give you a closer look. Oh, well, there we go, guys. I've managed to get some wire all the way up. It goes all the way to the very tip of the top of the thicker piece. I did discover whilst wiring it the reason why the trunk shrinks dramatically in size is it has actually already been cut once. I don't know if I'll be able to show you in there, but no, I can't really see it at the minute. Hopefully we'll be able to see it when I've chopped some back. But yeah, the old leader has been cut at some point, which is why we've got a relatively thin and new one. So now I'm going to try and put some shape, just a bit of shape. I don't want this tree to be a complete wibbly wobbly tree, but just want a nice bit of low down movement if we can. As I say, I've only used 3mm wire, so it's not going to do dramatic things, but I don't want to do dramatic things myself. Just want to give just a tiny bit, like a small curve of an S shape basically, just to give it a bit of interest, because I've got an idea of how I want this tree to progress roughly in the future. So now you can kind of see that we've got a bit of a curve going up there, and then that's the leader curving back up that way. Obviously the majority of the tree now looks like it's all sticking out to one side, but that's okay. This bit will, because it will now be in the full sun on this side, this bit will start to grow quite well out there in the spring. But we're going to take a look and maybe take a branch or two off it now. So I'm going to have again a close look at the tree and see what I want to do. Right, well, this is what what I'm left with. Been hacking away. I've actually taken a lot more off it than I was anticipating. It's the pile that we've got left, or that I've taken off, is there, all now nice and tidy, ready to be disposed of. But yeah, so this will probably be the front of the tree. Now I've left 3 small branches on this side, so when it bends round there we can have one of them coming off there, and depending on which one develops the best, we'll keep one of them. But sometimes it's good to leave a few extra branches on a trunk, because the more branches on the trunk, the thicker and quicker the trunk itself will grow, because each branch is sucking up sap, which means the trunk needs to be wider for it to do so. So I've left 3 there to help give the bottom of the trunk some good taper. And so we haven't got much of an S-bend, but I didn't want too much of an S-bend. That's going to be the main trunk there, I believe. I've taken all of the inside off here. I do have one back branch that I've left for now, again, one to help thicken up the trunk, and 2 just to see what it does in the spring. This is my main branch, going to be coming off this end S-bend, but again I have left a second one as a backup just for now. There probably is a bit more foliage I could chop off there, but I don't want to go too crazy this time of year. We are just coming into winter, and obviously I want this little tree to survive over the winter. So yeah, there's that one. Now you might be thinking, oh, it looked like a nicer tree beforehand, but what I'll do is I'll keep a short clip of this this video, and then come spring, summertime, we'll snap back to it, and we'll have a look and see what you think then. But I'm pretty confident this tree is going to look absolutely amazing. On this last S-bend curling back there, I've also left another branch to come off there, so it's got one there, one there, one there. Possibly keep or get rid of that, haven't decided yet. Obviously this is the main leader, which is fallen off its curl. Just curl it back around there. So yeah, that is how I'll leave it. I'll bend the tip of that. You always, if you want to keep a leader, you always want to try, if you can, to just face the leader to the sky, because then it will generally stay the leader. The tallest branch wins normally, but let me quickly do that and I'll snap back to you. There we go. So I've still got my good S shape in there, but then the main leader is pointing up, facing towards the sky. So there's that one. So this is the other one that I said I was going to work on today. I'm going to start in exactly the same way by finding the trunk. So I'll get under here, move a couple of these really low down branches. Like so. Again, it looks like this one's got some roots on it. Quite a lot of roots actually. I will be potting this one up then with the other one, just to see. There we go, a couple of roots on that one. I don't know if you can see that. Make another mini tree in the future, hopefully. Oh, the roots on this come up really high. Again, I'm going to try and remove as little of the roots for this time of year as I can, because I don't really want to compromise the tree in any way. I want it to survive the winter. So what you do also want to do is, when you're snipping a branch, you want to try and get it as close to the trunk and nice and neat as you can. I do have some concave cutters somewhere, but I've misplaced them. So there you go, I found my trunk. That's quite a cute little trunk and tree on that one. Move the rubbish back out of the way. Right. So yeah, it's looking more like a tree already, isn't it? Now, with this one though, I'm going to be a bit more different than the other one. I'm not going to give this one any shape in the trunk as of yet. Just going to decide on a couple of branches to remove, to make it a bit more tree-like. Start off with that one. Which side's going to be the front? Yeah, that side, methinks. It's just the fun part of kind of. I mean, as I said before, I'm a keen gardener, and I do like my bonsais. Although I am no bonsai expert, but I can grow and keep a bonsai anyway. Next spring I'll show you my favourite one when I work on that. But yeah, it's just a case of getting an idea of a design. I always start from the bottom and work up. Some people do it differently, but it's just sort of looking at the tree and think, right, what do I want from the tree, and then trying to make decisions based on that. Rather than make you watch me decide on which ones of these I'm keeping and which ones I'm not, I will have a good look around the tree and snap back to you. One thing you might notice with trees like this, inside the trees you always find dead parts, like these browny yellow parts that are starting to die, and all that is the fact that they've had no sun for a long time because of how thick and dense these type of trees are. Obviously the back branches and the very inner branches, you'll see it's the same all the way up. The ones at the very inner go yellow and then brown and then die off. So the idea of bonsai is not only to shape the tree as you want, but try and get as much light into the tree as physically possible, so you don't get any of that sort of dieback. That's the idea. But, yeah, as you can see, I've removed a few more branches since my last snapback. I'm going to keep looking and remove a few more and snap back to you. So that's about all I'm going to chop off this one for this year. There'll be a fair bit more pruning on this come the spring, but as you can see now it's opened up a bit more. It's going to get an awful lot of sunlight in there, and not only that, once the branches are wide, I'm not going to, as I say, shape the trunk at the moment, so I don't want to put too much strain on the tree as I've hacked quite a lot off it, but I will just wire some of the branches into the positions that I want them. So I'll get that done and I'll snap back to you. And there's the not finished article, but there's the article finished for now. Now there is a couple of branches that I'm still umming and ahhing that I might get rid of, because I've got two here very close beside each other, you can see there, so one of them will probably go in the future, and again the same with this one and this one. You can see there they're relatively close together, but for now, as I say, the more branches that are on the tree, the thicker the trunk will grow. I've also left almost 2 leaders on the top at the minute. Again, it's just to help draw the sap up the tree, to keep the tree healthy with all the work I've done to it for this year. But again, come the spring, this all, or end of the spring probably, beginning of the summer, we'll have a little bit more of a prune. The wire can probably then start to come off, and yeah, be able to make it look even more like a tree. Because it's so young, it's actually still got the pine needles still growing out of the trunk at the minute, but they'll all come off at some point. The 2 that I chopped off from the first tree and this second tree with the roots on, I've just potted in some of my homemade bonsai soil, you can see there, and we'll see if they take. Whether they do or not, don't know. Not really taken cuttings from either of these type of trees before, but they've got 2 chances, haven't they? But yeah, so that's what I've done with these 2 bonsais today, and there's the 2 of them together. So obviously the one on the right does look a bit of a mess at the moment, but it's a future progress type tree. So it's just the general start, and then as I say, come the summertime when I show you that tree again, you'll see why I've done what I've done, and it will look a lot more like a tree by then. But yeah, I'm really chuffed with the one on the left. Almost looks like a little Christmas tree now, doesn't it? But yeah, we'll snap back to them in the summer and see how they've done. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. That's all I'm going to do with these because of the time of year. I don't want to push the trees too far because I do want them to survive. So I say we will snap back to them in the summer. In regards to the homemade bonsai soil that I said that I've got in there, I did get the idea of that from a fellow bonsai enthusiast, and I've done a video on how I made my version down in the video description. I'll put a link up here somewhere for that as well. So yeah, if you want to see how I made that, good time of year to make it in preparation ready for next spring, when I will show you how, probably not these two, because I've done a lot of work on them now. I might just put them in a slightly bigger pot, but I will show you how I repot some of my bonsais come the spring when it's the right time. So yeah, on that note, thank you all for watching. I hope I've earned your subscription today. If I haven't, I'll try harder on the next one. Speaking of the next one, we'll catch you